the PDF of my presentation. So take your time. It's in the next slide also. Welcome. Are you seeing the presentation? It's okay?
Yes, it's
Perfect.
okay.
Well, I'm from Pleni, as it's in my presentation. Pleni is a neurological rehabilitation center in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, Escobar. You are welcome to visit. You just write an email. We can agree a day to visit and know our center. It's a very big center with a lot of facility, and we work with technology in rehabilitation from too many years. And I lead the group of engineers that we give support to the therapists in the use of the technology, data, research, and also protocols and programs for rehabilitation. Well, we are here to talk about virtual environments and virtual reality. This is a definition, a concept. We know that it's a system that make an interface between user and computer and involve activities in real time. That's important, with a lot of stimulus and a lot of interaction via multiple sensory channels. This is a formal definition of virtual reality. And now it's important to understand that how we use these systems in rehabilitation. We have inpatient and outpatient programs in motor rehabilitation, of course, that when I talk about motor rehabilitation, is not only motor rehabilitation, all the cognitive and sensory process are also involved in the programs. But I will focus in this presentation in the motor issues that our patients have. Our patients in general has alterations related to the injury in the nervous system, as loss of selective motor control, weakness, spasticity, balance alteration, muscle tone dysfunction, and this leads to problems in coordination, weight shifting, core stability, biomechanical alignment, upper limb function, of course, with a final impact on the quality of movement in static posture and movement in transition, gait, and daily life activities. So it's important to understand that we will work in these problems during our programs of rehabilitation using technology, using virtual reality, but always as a complement of conventional physical therapy, occupational therapy, and of course speech therapy and cognitive therapies in all the rehabilitation process of our patients. But it's important to say that we use virtual environments and all the rehabilitation technology as a tool for do better how our work, how we already know how we do to do it. So in Pleni, from many years, too much years ago, we decided to involve to start to use technology in our programs, and we decided to start with virtual environments. We have a lot of tools, a lot of setups with virtual environments that include a rehabilitation technology room with a group of stations or workstations, all with virtual activities, a sensory room when we have one version of Nirvana, Also, we have treadmill with virtual reality, augmented reality, body weight support for rehabilitation of gait and balance. And we have different setups of little systems of motion capture systems that use virtual reality or virtual environment also in our gyms, in pediatrics and also in adult services. I don't say at the beginning, but we work mostly with patients with a stroke, brain injury, spine injury, and in pediatrics, and mostly with cerebral palsy. So the way that we work is almost the same, of course, with the particularity of each population. But we are here to talk mostly about Nirvana system. It's a very powerful tool that we have from the first version. We have two systems of Nirvana, the first and the second version. Nirvana is a device that uses immersive virtual reality techniques for motor and also cognitive rehabilitation. The system creates different scenarios projected in the wall or in the floor or in an object, in the table. We can work with any object and interact with the patient with different stimulus, and this is a very important feature with the whole body of our patients. So we have a lot of point of access of different units of interaction, and this is very important to take a good results with our work in virtual environment. The quality of immersion and the quality of the sense of presence of our patients working with a virtual reality system is very related to the quality of the images projected and also the quantity of the channels of interaction with the system. And of course, is also related with the feedback, the visual and auditive feedback that the system give to our patients. About the goal of motor rehabilitation, we know about that is the learning of specific skills to keep independence in the function in the daily activities, and even when it's not too much evidence about the evaluation and the assessment of the motor learning principles associated to a specific virtual environment or virtual activity because of the complexity of that. It's easy to analyze and relate the motor learning principles with the features or the characteristics that offer the virtual environments and virtual reality systems. As Michelle showed you, of course, there is some works that are starting to show us the importance and the results of the use of virtual reality in rehabilitation. So how virtual environments help us in motor rehabilitation is promoting motor learning, and also providing an attractive environment that optimize the sensory motor experience and also give us motivation and engagement with the activities. And this enriched environments that we get with virtual reality system has been shown to get positive effects in brain injury recovery, also in cognitive function in children. But a lot of work showed that motivates the movement, exploration, physical training, and social interaction. So not only in virtual environments, but scenarios with stimulus, with a lot of stimulus, help us to work and to have better results. So the first version of Nirvana that we have, we decided to install the system in a sensory room. So in this way, we create a lot of tools of stimulus to interact with the patients, including the Nirvana system, that help us with a lot of tasks working in rehabilitation. We generally use this sensory room with the more severe patients, but also in the rehabilitation programs in post-surgery and in the motor programs. We can work with sound, no problem. We can work with this tool and with Nirvana, the motor initiative, the cause effect training, task planning, also the coordination, the visual motor coordination. And it's important to say that Nirvana allows us to work with free movement, and this is a very interesting way to evaluate the patient when we don't know in the very early stage of the rehabilitation. We can evaluate transitions, how he discover the action and the cause and effects of his movement, and it's a very powerful tool to a first evaluation assessment of our patients. Another motor learning principle is the dosing of our training or our sessions. We try to get to reach longer activities with a lot of repetition of our specific task. And this is an example of how we can use virtual environment to get attention, to get focus in the activity in a very sharp patient with a very hard task, also a board task. He is working in the strengthening of his core after selective dorsal rhizotomy surgery. It's a very hard work, and with this kind of environment, using also the creativity of the physical therapists, of course, we can get more repetitions, more attention, more duration or longer therapies, and this is our goal with this kind of tools. Of course, we have another activities in Nirvana to work in number of repetition, but this is for me a very fun, very clear example of how we can change an activity to get longer work with our patients. Another principle is to get a lot of feedback. We know that when more feedback we have during the activity is better for motor learning, to get a neural plasticity. So, and we talk of feedback, of intrinsic feedback, or the sensory and perception of the body of the patient, the sensation, the activity of the therapist helping to with the biomechanical alignment, the patient feel all that information in his body, but also the extrinsic that the system give to the patient, with images, with sounds, also with the sense of presence, with the credibility that the patient has about the history that the activity is telling, in this moment. The patient involved in the activity, involved in the virtual environment, and this is important to take off his mind of the rehabilitation and try to focus on the specific task and encourage to get a better performance. And it's also important that the system give to the patient information about his performance. We know that, or there is some evidence that this is effective for motor learning. So it's a tool that we use also a lot. Also, the task specificity is very important when we talk about rehabilitation. We always try to work with functional movement and not only with analytic movement of joints or some parts of the body. So Nirvana helps us a lot with that, has a lot of activities to work in functional or daily life activities, but also in a specific task can reach during rehabilitation. I have some examples here in these videos working in balance and, sorry, I lost the mouse here. In balance and gait rehabilitation programs, when we start to work with the patient in weight shifting or center of mass displacement, we use this kind of sprites activities of Nirvana to work with the patient. In this session is in the beginning of the rehabilitation, so the physical therapist helps with the biomechanical alignment, with the posture, and the patient start to shift his weight from one leg to another, using the stimulus to play and to engage with the activity. And also we can use the environments to stimulate the lateral walking, all specific tasks that we already use in conventional rehabilitation of balance and gait, but trying to use the virtual environment to get clear steps or clear marks to work at the patient, but also entertainment and motivation to achieve longer therapies, more repetition, more engagement. But not only, it's okay. But not only those is important for motor learning, also adaptability, the possibility to get more difficulty to the task. So it's also, there is some evidence that it's important for the motor learning to have this kind of progression during the rehabilitation. So in this issue, Nirvana also offer different kind of activity, very easy to configure, and we also progress during the rehabilitation using Nirvana. Of course, we use Nirvana with another tools, with another virtual environments, another technologies, but I can show here how we use this system. In the first line of videos, we are working with compensatory steps in the very beginning of rehabilitation of gait, expected stimulus in the same place. The boy is working first with all his body in the system, involving upper extremity. In the second video, also work with the canes, with the physical therapists. These patients, in the future, many of them go to use canes or walkers for his daily walking. So important that they train the coordination between upper limbs and lower limbs during the rehabilitation. And the same patients, after that, this video is Oh, it's okay. Let me start the video. It's a little tilted. Well, the first ones, I don't know if it's working, but now we try to do the same activity, but with a stimulus that appears in unexpected places. So the patient has to work the visual motor coordination, but also respond with his own body, moving through the virtual environment, trying to catch this mole in this kind of activity. So we sense of also very important for the task, as in the last presentation we hear about the patients that wants to go to the rehabilitation, want to go back to the activities, and motivation. We try to be clear with the goals setting for each activity, try to go to give the patients some kind of rewards or the positive feedback, that the patient has the sense of progression, as we say in the last slide, but also trying to communicate about some kind of outcomes or some kind of images or videos that show the patient the progression during the rehabilitation. And Nirvana also offer a very important feature, that is socialization, the possibility to work in the virtual environment with the therapist, and also with some another person, like friends, family, or another patient in the same situation. So this is a very important feature. Creates competitivity, it's fun, is allow us to propose another activities with more complexity, and we use a lot this tool for this kind of activities in group of patients. About the applications of Nirvana in our programs, we use a lot this tool in balance and gait rehabilitation, strengthening of the core. We use a lot of different elements of gym elements, soft object of the gym, like this ball or rolls or some sticks to reach the target. But we can complement the virtual environment with real objects, and this is very important also for integrate and to create a more immersive, but also more I don't know how to say, a more that the patients believe in the activity that he is doing in this moment. So also we use, of course, in upper limb rehabilitation, we use the sprite and reach and grasp activities. There is some activities to go shopping or to work in a laundry, and we use a lot of this kind of activity that involve a whole body of the patient, and is our more immersive tool in terms of virtual reality. We did some steps, not very frequently, but we did some trials in assessment and training of spatial unilateral spatial neglect. Is also very useful tool for that, because of the sprite activities are organized or located in any fields of the screen or the virtual environment, so we can assess the affected side of our patient and try to propose more activities from the affected side, also to get better results. As I say at the beginning, in the sensory room, we work with a lot of sensory stimulation and the more severe patients, trying to get a consistent answer of the patients, try to start to communicate, to train the cause effect in the very beginning of the stimulation, in early stimulation of the child. And we use a lot also in free movement, as I said some time ago, to evaluate the transitions, to try to understand how the patient solved different situations when he start from the floor and until he stand up, and is very useful for that also. Of course, virtual environment or virtual reality system is a tool, and we should use, or we must use, together with conventional therapy plus other technologies. We use body weight support system, treadmill, different kind of sensors like touch sensor, inertial sensors, mechanical interfaces, but all these tools or all these systems help us in improve our results in rehabilitation. And of course, a big plus, I put it in a big font for professional criteria or judgment, and the knowledge and also the creativity of our professionals working with this environment, but trying to do the same that they do in the gyms, in the conventional therapies, but in a more fun and more creative and more motivating activities during virtual reality rehabilitation. Another important thing about this system is the possibility to have some outcomes of our programs, of our activities. We don't use, Nirvana has some kind of outcomes. We don't use Nirvana in an isolated way, as I said. We don't use only Nirvana in our rehabilitation program. So because of that, we integrate some data from the sprite activities and some other data, but always or we like to do a global evaluation of our rehabilitation programs at the beginning, at the end, and we use inertial sensor. I don't know if you know about G sensor. PWalk is G sensor is a sensor for with protocols for evaluation assessment of gait and other things. So we use it to evaluate the parameters, the time and distance parameters of the gait of the patient at the beginning and at the end of the rehabilitation process. Of course, when they have goals of gait rehabilitation. And we use also PWalk as a plantar pressure platform to measure sway, the displacement of center of pressure during the activities that I showed at the beginning of the presentation. So it's a good way to follow the patient, to follow the evolution of the patient during the rehabilitation, and it helps us to get some numbers of the progress. So there is some concept about virtual reality system in general, not only for rehabilitation, that talk about the three I's: immersion, interaction, imagination. This is a definition of each one. Immersion is the tell us that the patient should train in an environment as close as possible to the real world, and has to be related to the quality of our system, of the quantity of interaction, but also this interaction has to give to the patient feedback and some sense of progress. This is the E of, or the I of interaction, and the user must believe in the history that the activity tells during the rehabilitation. This is called imagination, and we think that this system, Nirvana, or the virtual environment that we use, are a good example of that. And this is also very related to motor learning principles, because you need to get a lot of feedback, a lot of interaction. Of course, if the patient is involved and is focused in the activities, better for the motor learning. So as I said at the beginning, there is not too much evidence of some particular systems in virtual reality, or some particular system applied to particular population of patients. Is growing, is now in the last time is more evidence, but it's not too much. But we think that the way to work is this, and it's a very powerful tool to work in neurological rehabilitation. So also the responsibility of us as health workers is to provide more evidence about the specific task in a specific or a specific system and a specific population of patients. And about Nirvana, some conclusion is that as I said, is maybe the more immersive system that we have. Is very easy to use with freedom, with a lot of movement, with a lot of interaction with the entire body of our patient. This is a very important feature. We can use in motor, but also in cognitive rehabilitation. As I said at the beginning, always we work with motor and cognitive rehabilitation together. Another very important future characteristic is the possibility to work with multiple users. This allows us to get more motivation to work in groups of patients. In terms of productivity is also very important. And it worked for us for a lot of years. As I said, we buy the first version, I don't know, in 2005 and 6, and now in 2017 we bought the second version of the newest version of Nirvana. So that's all. Hope you understand me. Mucho obrigado, and thank you again for the invitation. You have my email there if you have any questions.